What's up, guys? This is a recording from the Contractors Helping Contractors Facebook group Tuesday live training. So every Tuesday we do a live training in the group. So make sure you join that group. I'll link it in the bio below. This one's about leads, understanding the psychology behind the buying process, something that you should be a student on. Really awesome, hopefully insightful training for you that you can instantly take action on. So hope you love it. Do me a favor, if you haven't done so already, please rate and review this podcast. We are lacking in reviews. And if you listen to this, I don't really ask much, but if you could just please put a review of this podcast on whatever you're listening to, I would greatly appreciate it. Check it out. It starts right now. Contractors all over the world are wanting more time, more freedom, more impact. The way we do this is through implementing systems, processes, standards. Welcome to the Contractor Secrets Podcast. Here we hit business strategy, coaching, mindset, motivation, the tools you need for success. So strap in, listen up, and get ready to grow on the Contractor Secrets Podcast. Thank you guys for joining today. As always, my goal is to give you guys some value. Wow. Hope you guys are having an awesome start to your week. I sure am. I was out in the field yesterday, selling some jobs. We've hit a little bit of a plateau, and every now and again, I go in and handle business. So got a couple sales and just reminded myself how much I love selling. So what's up, everyone? I see some familiar faces. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Some of you guys are driving. Some of you guys are doing things. So I appreciate you being here. I'm going to give you some value today, as I always do, and it's going to be something that you can implement in your business immediately. So I don't want to waste any time. Let's get to it. Thanks for being early to this. I'm not going to let people in here anymore. So I'm going to open this up here, guys, and we are going to cover lead conversion. So this is something that, unless you've studied this tremendously, it might be something that you overlook. This is a skill set in business, is converting leads to appointments. This could be an entire person's job in your business, right? We know that. We know that there's some people that are called appointment setters. That's how valuable this position is. So if you're listening to this and you don't have an appointment setter in your business, that means the appointment setter is you. Or it's your office admin who may be doing 100 different tasks and not setting appointments. This is a skill set. Okay. So first thing we want to do is we want to identify a couple of things of what I'm going to teach you today. We might have to do a part 2 on this training. The second half of this training, just let you know, I want to kind of do like a business breakthrough style. So if you guys got some things going on in your business, I kind of want to hit on those. So we might break this up into 2 trainings. But first, I want to let you know what to expect. So what we're going to do is we are going to understand the anatomy of the buyer's decision-making process. I'm going to teach you how to utilize automation to build trust. We're going to discover a deeper understanding of how the customer's journey impacts the sale. And ideally, I'm going to try to help you identify some blind spots when it comes to your sales process. So what I've realized and what we're all pursuing is the answer to a very, very simple question. That simple question is, I wonder what it will cost to. Okay, so you guys have to understand that there's this one underlying question with every one of our customers. They all want to know what it will cost. And if you were in my sales training, we really hit on that. But even when it comes to lead generation, we've got to identify that as well, is that even us as consumers, we have the same question. What will it cost? Okay, so those of you that are in here, say what's up to me in the chat so I know that I'm not talking to myself. Just throw in an emoji, just pop something in here just so I could say what's up to you. We got 20, about 20 people in here today. So appreciate you guys all joining. What's up, Joe? Thanks for coming in. Rob, what's up, man? Love it. Brian, appreciate that, man. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? So I'm going to ask you to participate a little bit. Those of you that know how my trainings work, I just appreciate participation just so I know I'm not talking to myself. So again, what will it cost to? Okay, so first thing we have to understand is that things have changed. We know this, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a refresher. So these are the ways that customers used to get an estimate in 1990. I don't know. I don't know if you were in business in 1990, And you're here. I think you're awesome because you're innovative, but most of us have not been in business that long. So what you're going to find in 1990 is that there were three types of ways to get bids. Really, it was number one, it was identifying a neighbor would give you a referral. Number two, yellow pages, and number three, the newspaper. This is all they had, really. And what's interesting about this is, it actually worked, and although it worked, there was some problems with that, and I'm going to explain that here in a second. So here's the journey for a customer, right? So first they'd get a referral. Then, obviously they would reach out to that company after getting the referral, and then the painter would show up, right? So this is a very short life cycle of a lead, right? You'd pretty much just take the word of your neighbor, because neighbors actually talk back then, right? I don't know. Some of you guys might have moved to a new neighborhood, and chances are maybe you've only met one of your neighbors. Okay. We all know back in the day, neighbors would show up with the gelatin at the front door on your second day in, right? Welcoming you to the neighborhood. Things have changed, right? So before, we would rely heavily on our local network to give us advice to help us make better decisions. Here we have a risk level of 6 out of 10. So in other words, going with this neighbor's recommendation is a 6 out of 10 risk, right? It's not the most risky decision, but still, we're still just going off of their word of mouth, their experience, right? There still could be a chance that the contractor screws this over. The second one is the customer directory journey. So these are the customers that take this decision into their own hands. Maybe they don't know a neighbor that had gotten this service done, and they just, go to the directory. This was Google back in the day, right? The yellow pages. So they'd hit the yellow pages, they'd make the phone call, and then guess what? That painter's showing up, right? And they would trust in their own decision-making process, which you would see here at the bottom. It's a higher risk level, 8 out of 10, right? So we don't have the comfort of a neighbor having a good experience. We have to be the first one to experience that if we do this on our own. And then last, we have that classifieds journey, right? So there would be a newspaper. This would be your Google ads back in the day. These are the people that are putting out ads for their services in the newspaper. And again, this is your highest level of risk because really you just don't know who this company is. You're just taking their word for it at face value. Again, you're doing all the work. You're assuming the risk here. Okay, so again, today we're talking about lead nurturing. We're talking about identifying what is going on with these leads, how to convert them. And we're really discovering some of the old ways that people used to really reach out to get someone to do work for them. Okay. Then something crazy happened, right? This is what our country's built on, is innovation, right? People identify problems in the marketplace and they create solutions for those problems that people will pay for. And one of the biggest problems is that the 3 ways that people reached out to contractors, all of them had a high risk level, right? Everyone was still a little uncertain, okay? And these are the questions, generally speaking, that people will have when they reach out for that contractor, right? Will I get a bad deal? Will they show up? Will they perform the work as promised? Will I get my money's worth? Will I be taken advantage of, right? So these are the questions that these corporate executives conjured up about what their buyer, the people that I'm going to explain to you in a second, are going through, right? And what they've identified as a whole is that hiring a contractor is risky. And that is the fault of the contractor, right? The person who's taken advantage, who didn't follow through on their promises, it created this void in the marketplace for someone to come in and created a solution. Okay. So those of you might have seen some of these. These are all the ways to get bids now in 2023. So really what you're looking at is an explosion of really, I mean, the internet did this, but mostly, again, this is just an explosion of options for the same customer. Okay, so what does that really do? Well, it dilutes the word of mouth. We all know that, right? None of us here are thriving off of word of mouth. It's helping us sustain our business, but no one is thriving off of customers just passing your name left and right, guys. We know that because it's still a 6 out of 10 risk, as I assessed in one of the first slides. What people have found is that they can make their own educated decision more effectively than they can relying on word of mouth, right? And what we find is that, and what these companies have found is that they want to facilitate that decision. And I'm going to help you understand that here in a second. So again, take a look at this. These are all the ways your customers can get, connected to you as a contractor. Okay. So obviously things have changed. So what was created was what I dubbed as risk aversion as a service. So risk aversion as a service is really just identifying, hey, we're going to assume the risk for you. So we're going to pretty much say, hey, if you go through us to meet your contractor, we're going to absorb the risky decision, right? We vetted this guy. We know that they're a good company and they have a reputation on our platform. Chances are they want to keep that reputation, and chances are they want us to keep sending customer information to you, to them. So chances are they're going to do a good job and they're going to do it right. So what was created, I call risk aversion as a service. So this is kind of just a little cartoon analogy here of the customer now who has a ton of different options. So if you remember in one of the first slides, it was a pretty short life cycle, right? Customer would pick up the phone, call the contractor, he's over there, and that's it, right? And again, what would happen is that the risk started happening, right? Didn't show up, didn't return phone calls, didn't finish on time, took the deposit, and the customer's like, man, this sucks, right? And it wasn't just happening with one trade, it was happening with all sorts of trades. So what we're finding is that now we have these liaisons here. Now we have House, Yelp, Bark, Crabjack, Google, Angie, and you see in this cartoon, the painter is the same painter, but now he said, now they're saying, let's see some online reputation, right? So in other words, the customer isn't really relying on anything other than reputation. Now, of course, you can get lucky, but that's just not how they're buying paint jobs. That's how they're buying everything. They're looking at reviews. They're trying to make the best educated decision because no one wants to make a bad decision. So if we identify that, then we need to hedge our business in a way that aligns with what the customer wants, right? So you see here that without an online reputation, you're pretty much out of the game, or you have to pay to play, which in this case, these companies are capitalizing on, right? So in other words, if you don't have the online reputation, buy leads, and the companies are going to sell them to you for top dollar. Okay, so here's the new referral journey. So back before, I showed you kind of, again, that short cycle. It was the customer is talking to the neighbor over the fence. Hey, I had a guy that painted my house. And the customer would say, great, I'll call him. And the guy's over there next week painting their house. Well, now this is kind of what word of mouth looks like. It's a little bit different, right? So first we have the social media recommendation. I don't know about you guys, but we have some groups in different communities where people, put out our name as a company that people can trust whenever say, hey, does anyone know anyone that paints a house? Well, they don't just put our name. They put our name, and then another neighbor comes in and gives another name, and another neighbor comes in and gives another company's name, and another neighbor comes in another company's name. And what's happening is it's really the person who asked the question is overwhelmed with options again, right? So then they're like, okay, well, I mean, there's 5 different companies here that everyone says does a good job. Who do I choose? Well, then they go to Google and try to do their own research, right? So at least at that point in time, they've had some sort of trust built with their neighbors. Now they do their own assessment. So they might go to Google, they might check your social media, right? Especially the younger generation. Get ready for this, right? This is going to be big in the next 10 years, is you're going to have your social media is what's going to make people make better decisions, right? They're going to look at your social media. And if you haven't posted anything on Instagram or Facebook in, 6 months, they're going to think that you're either out of business or you're not a legitimate company, right? So I think some of us might have even done this in other areas where we'll look at something that we want to buy. We'll go to that company's Facebook page and they hadn't posted in a year, and it'll make us feel a certain way. Like, are they still in business? Like, what are they doing? Right? So get ready for this because it's coming. From that point in time, they might go to the website. They might submit their information at that point. And at that point, you get an opportunity to give an estimate. What really was created was a really low risk. The customer did all of the research and it didn't take them long to do it. All it really was a Google search. Soon it'll be a Chat GPT search. Soon it'll be AI giving them recommendations based off of a lot of factors, not just what Google says, right? AI is going to comb everything and provide the best assessment internet wide. Okay. So again, the risk is as low as possible when the customer goes through this journey. So now the customer is really being taken care of by these resources. And they say, well, thanks for the referral. I'll take it from here. And they have the best chance of getting a great contractor to come in. So the customer directory journey's changed. The trusted directories now are Angie, Amazon is in the game now. Craft Jack, Networks, Homestars, Bark, House, Porch, BBB. Guys, Amazon's in the lead gen game. Soon they're going to be doing it with painting contractors. Maybe they're doing it now, but customers trust Amazon. They know that if they don't like something, they can just return it. So if Amazon says, hey, we're going to get into the customer service game, well, or the home service game, well, guess what? They trust Amazon for everything else. Why wouldn't they trust it for home service? So get ready for that. Okay. If there's an opportunity for you to get leads from Amazon, I would suggest jumping on it. So again, we have directory reputation. Within these directories is your own reputation inside of these directories, guys. So ultimately what's happening is not only do you have to worry about your reputation on Google, you've got to worry about your reputation on CraftJack, Angie, Networks, House, and Porch. If you're buying leads from these areas, you need to make sure that the reputations are high. And here's what's happening now. 3 or 4 options of good options. These aren't just, word of mouth random people. These are people just like you in your area that are connected to these directories that are paying the same amount you are for the lead. And the directories are just sitting back, laughing their way to the bank, right? And here's what the directories are really saying to the customers. We will protect you. We'll do the heavy lifting. We'll screen and vet them for you, and we will hand deliver you 2 to 3 different options. Okay. So the risk level, again, is super low for directories now. Okay. And then the customer search journey, really what they're doing, guys, most of our customers find us this way. They search on Yelp or Google. They get they get the reputation through Google or Yelp. So again, doesn't matter if you have, a great reputation on Angie. If you don't have a great reputation on Google, you're not really going to be a prominent choice on Google. They visit your website or they call you for a quote. If they visit the website, they request a quote, you get the estimate. If they call you, you get the estimate. This is a medium risk. It's usually the fastest way that hedges against a high risk. And again, what you're looking at here is really a really quick decision-making process. They trust Google. They trust Yelp when it comes to finding a restaurant or finding a place of business. So why wouldn't they trust it with finding their home service professional? And now you're seeing, guys, you've heard of Google Guaranteed. These companies know what they're doing. And we're in the sector of the economy where they know that they could just rail us, right? Because they recognize that they care more about our customers than we do. And unfortunately, they're capitalizing on that. Okay. So if you guys are getting something out of this so far, just let me know. We're going to get into some strategy. The only way you can let me know really is just throw in an emoji or throw in something into the chat. We've had some new people jump in. Really just what's up, guys? Welcome. It's Tuesday. So we're getting after today. I hope this kicks your week off good. Throw some emojis in the chat, whatever you're doing today. I hope you guys go out and crush it. Today, we're learning about lead gen. We're learning about lead nurturing and understanding how these leads are thinking so we can position ourselves in a way that aligns with what they're going through, guys. And that's kind of the theme of what I teach really is just be a great buyer. You'll be a great seller, right? So that's what we need to focus on today. Thank you guys for jumping in. So here's the pros and cons of the new era of lead generation, guys. So first, the cons are in red here on the left. So that forces contractors, guys, to evolve with technology in order to keep up. Okay. So in other words, if you aren't with it, you're going to be on the sidelines, right? If you're not staying up to date with what's going on, you're going to be on the sidelines. Number 2, there's more qualified competition than there ever was, right? Guys, anybody on here is qualified. Anybody watching this is qualified. There's this wave happening of people that are smartening up and realizing the opportunity in this space. You have salespeople, you have business people, you have, investors identifying the opportunity in our market that use these same principles in other sectors of the economy. And they're coming into the home service space saying, wait a minute, why is this so easy? Well, it's because ultimately the people that are true contractors aren't evolving fast enough. So it's causing there to be more qualified competition. Overwhelmed with lead generators. I think we all are a little exhausted of trying to keep up with Networks, trying to keep up with Angie, trying to keep up with Thumbtack, trying to keep up with Google, trying to keep up with Yelp, trying to keep up with all these different things. It's exhausting. Facebook, right? Cost per lead is only going to go up, right? Because ultimately what's happening is the more time that we go by where social media marketing happens and more companies start. There's a great analogy. I think it was somebody, I don't know who taught this analogy, but if you picture like a baseball field, right? A baseball field only has but so much ad space in the baseball field, right? So if you look at all the signs and all the placements, like very rarely after they set up all those signs and placements can they create new ones. They don't want the whole field to be an advertisement, or else people probably get a little annoyed with that. So when you guys think about Facebook, you got to understand that there's only but so much space to run ads on Facebook. That's why people say it's not good to run ads during Christmas time, because that's when all of the companies put their money into Facebook because they want to increase their sales during that time. So ultimately what you have to understand is that Facebook knows, well, guess what? Now it's going to be an auction type of result, right? And this is the same thing that happened with Google, is that there's only so much space at the top of Google. So now it becomes an auction. Who's going to spend the most to be seen? Okay. And this is what's going to continue to happen as time goes on. Very rarely does it ever happen where advertising costs go down on a platform. So again, cost per lead is going to continue to rise. Forced to run online ads. In other words, some of you guys had never run online ads before. This is something new to you. And you keep hearing about these marketing companies. You keep hearing about your friends using marketing companies. Some of you had bad experiences with them. Some of you had good ones. But now you're forced to do it, or at least you feel forced. You feel the pressure to do it. Again, these are one of the cons of the change in the way people buy. And now you're at the mercy of customers for online reputation. So I can come to you as a contractor and say, the pressure's real when it comes to making sure that people don't tarnish your reputation. We all know that one review could really set us south. And I think that pressure is unhealthy. It's heavily in the customer's favor. It's crazy that anyone can go online and put what they want about the experience that we had, that we gave, even it could not be true. And it's not like Google is going to do anything about it. And we all know that, right? So that sucks. That's a sucky part of it, that we're relying so heavily on our online reputation. And we barely get the opportunity to provide context. Google doesn't give us the ability to put photos on our replies, so many bad things there. And then it's really no longer optional. So part of you guys being here, the 24 of you guys that showed up today, you're already ahead of everyone else that didn't show up, because this is something that needs to be focused on if you want to hit your stride in business. Okay. So let's talk about some of the pros. First of all, the right technology can help build trust. For me, obviously, you guys know Dripjobs is one of those apps that will help build trust, will help hedge against the craziness, will help organize these leads, will help nurture these leads. I know most of you guys use Dripjobs. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. The 3-bid average is going to be better if the market is more qualified, right? So if you have people buying leads, generally speaking, they're a little bit more business focused. They're a little bit more professional. And that means that the 3-bid average is going to be higher, right? So instead of like a 1,000, 2,000, and a 7,000, you're getting like a 3, a 5, and a 7. So that kind of helps. Leads on demand, right? So that's a nice perk. I will say that when I first started my business, buying leads was how I grew. Next, we have the ability to easily outsource our marketing department. So when you guys think of an organization, most companies have a CMO, which is a chief marketing officer. And we're talking about bigger companies. But in your business, chances are you don't have a CMO, and you probably are the CMO. You're responsible for all marketing in your business. So with that said, you have to understand that now in this day and age, you can pretty much outsource your marketing department to a marketing company. They have one rule or one responsibility: generate you leads. And that's the same responsibility of a CMO that you would have to pay 6 figures for in most cases, a good one. Organic lead flow opportunity, right? So before, back in the day, getting organic lead flow is a lot harder than it is now. People can simply just go to Google and really just look you up and call you, which is something that, again, these are pros. And then last but not least, there is the potential to distance yourself tremendously with online presence. And that's something that we've done really well. Again, your online presence can really set you apart from everyone else. So if you want to win in 2023 and beyond, you need to master this game. So the first thing is you have to understand the buyer's journey. Number 2, you got to be omnipresent. You got to be everywhere. Your company needs to be everywhere. Your reputation needs to be everywhere. And you have to understand that everyone buys differently. So everyone's going to search differently. And if you know the ways people search to find you, you're in good shape. Diversify our marketing spend. We can't just rely on one place to bring us leads. That's the biggest mistake you can make. If you only have one area, whether that's just Google or just Facebook, you're behind the 8 ball. Capitalize on interest, reinvest your profits, automate your communication, and organize your leads. These are the 7 keys for you to master lead nurturing and lead generation. Okay, so screenshot this and make it a focus. So, oh, I got this Zoom thing. Man, Zoom is just terrible. So I can't find leads. Well, the reality is they can't find you. So, when we talk about lead generation, really, I mean, I'm trying to help you understand that if we understand how the market's moving, then you position yourself in a way that the market can be seen, right? So again, back in the day when the internet first came out, if someone said, hey, do you want to put your company on Google and I'm going to charge you X amount, you'd probably look at that person like, first of all, what's Google and why would I do that? Now, if someone says, do you want to put your company on Google? It's intriguing to you. The only thing that really changed was the fact that the market now likes Google. So the same thing goes with Angie, right? Home Advisor. You might have your own emotional turmoil about what that is. Maybe you got burned by them or you think you got burned. Honestly, if you didn't use Dripjobs or an automated software when you were using Angie, then you really don't have a good assessment of how that lead generator can work for you. You might have had a friend tell you that they sucked or they stole money from that or whatever. But the reality of the situation is that the market likes Angie, right? They like them. And that's not really up to you. Like, you don't really get to decide. Like, you can't just not like Google and say, well, I'm not going to participate on Google because I don't like the CEO or I don't like what they do or I don't like how they operate. Well, guess what? Most of your customers like Google, and that's where you need to put your business if you want those people to call you. So ultimately, I look at it like this. If the market likes it, I like it. I don't care if Walmart started doing leads. Don't care. If people are going there, guess who's going to be there? Me. Okay. So I like to be where my people are traveling. And that's the purpose of the picture on the right, is that a billboard is only as good as the highway it's on, right? I know you guys have seen a billboard and are like, dude, no one's seeing that. Don't get me started on the messaging of the billboard, but the goal here is for you to identify, again, the value of the billboard is only as good as the highway it's on. And it's the same thing with where you guys are putting your ads, putting your marketing, right? So if you look on the left-hand side, passive hope is, maybe putting a couple organic posts up on Facebook or having a website on Google that isn't ranked and you haven't even logged into. Some of you guys right now have a website that you have not logged into in over a year. Okay. Well, Google sees that. Google sees that and is like, yeah, this isn't a good website. I'm not going to show this. But every now and again, you might get someone walking in the woods, maybe the third page of Google. There's some people I think that like the third page of Google, and they might find your website. You might get them, right? But I want the highway, okay? Because I'm going to get to my goals faster when I have a lot of leads, okay? So the goal here is to diversify your ad spend. Look, this is a little off topic, but some of you guys are really opposed to spending money on marketing. It's like, I know it hurts sometimes because it's a lot of money. It's a little uncertain. That's why you got to trust people that trust people, right? So in other words, guys, like if you came to me, I'd give you a good recommendation. I have people that I work with that understand, first of all, if I'm referring them, they better do a good job. But number two, they have to have integrity and they really got to care about your mission. They got to be specialists. There's some people that try to be specialists, but they're in it to pad their pockets and they don't really care. I've been burned by a marketing company. I know what it feels like. So the goal here is for you to identify that, you need to split test your marketing. You got to put some into SEO. You got to put some into Facebook ads. You got to put some into lead aggregators like Angie, and you got to put some money in Google ads. And what you'll find is that you're going to really double down on what's working. But until you consistently do this and give it 6 months to really nurture, you're never really going to know. And you're going to continue to be like, man, how do I get more leads? How do I get more leads? It's not about getting more leads. It's just about being where the leads are and getting an opportunity when the person's traveling on that road. So think about Facebook as a highway. All of your customers are on Facebook, every one of them. Chances are every one of you guys could ask your best customer if they have a Facebook account. And what would they say? Yeah, of course I have a Facebook. Oh, well, hello. So putting money on Facebook is a good move if it's done right. Okay. So if you guys are getting something out of this so far, please put an emoji, just wanted to connect with you guys. It is Tuesday morning. These are live trainings. Really, the biggest thing that I would ask of you guys is after this training, just go into the Facebook group, say something nice about the training. Really just, I'm asking that because I want more people to show up, and it incentivizes me to do more of these free trainings and invite my my smarter friends in to come do trainings for you for free. I think education should be free to a certain capacity. But I also believe that it's a great way for us to connect, for you to sharpen your pencil, sharpen your mind. I think if you go too long without seeing a presentation like this or being trained on a topic, we get stagnant. So at the end of this, my only ask for you, since this was a free training and I'm spending my very valuable time to be here, because I care about you, please just go into the Facebook group and just write a nice post about the training. Encourage more people to come next week. All right. So let's talk about reinvesting profits. So the best business owners are really good at a lot of things, but super good at one thing, and that is the proper allocation of resources. So, and sometimes that takes trial and error. You know, you might, lose some money, but the goal is to learn from it, right? So, just a really silly example here, but you look at it like this. If you sold a job for $5,000 and your material cost came out to 15%, which was $750, your labor cost was 40%, which is $2,000, your overhead was $500. That leaves you a $1,750 profit. Okay. So you have to be diligent in the way that you move the rest of the money around. Some of us are stuck in the employee mindset. I know this for a fact because I was there, and you see money as something that you need to hold on to really tight because that's what you were taught to do when you worked for someone else. You would spend everything, save what's left. Okay. Now that spending would be usually on a bill or it'd be on, XYZ, and then you'd save what's left until your next pay period. Okay. When you own a business, there's this little critical component that you must do. It's not optional, and that's called reinvesting. And some people, you might have heard it, I reinvested the profits back into the business. Well, if you've heard that, really, generally speaking, it means, they spent money on things that help more money come back into the business, right? So the goal here is for you to be disciplined in how you allocate the money. If you do 4 jobs that are $5,000 a piece, $5,000 a week, which is not hard for any of us to do, okay, that's about $2,000 in future business money that you should be reinvesting into your business. It's about 10%, okay? And I think early on, 10% is a great number to go by if you're trying to decide how much you should spend on marketing, because marketing really isn't just about getting money in return. It's about you experiencing getting money in return for money that you put into the machine. Okay, so when you decide on who you hire to do your marketing, the goal of that individual is to get as much money back to you as possible. So that is what they should be. That is what they should be held accountable to. The goal is for you to give them ad spend, and their goal is to get it to multiply it, right? So a great marketing company will focus heavily on how much you put in and how much they're getting you back. That's why you may hear $7 per lead or $20 per lead, right? So if you're getting 100 leads at $7, you only had to spend $700. But if you're getting 100 leads at $100, that's 10 grand. So that's the difference between a great marketing company and a mediocre one. Okay. So again, who is going to manage the money that you're reinvesting back into the business? Is it going to be you, someone who is untrained and very busy and not focusing on it because you can't? Or are you going to allocate those resources to someone else to manage? Okay. Marketing companies are money management allocation firms that if you have a good marketing company, they will maximize your spend. Okay. So first we need to understand a buyer's motivation. Okay. So we're going to talk about the different lead channels here. And I want you guys to understand the way I think about them. And I'm going to put you in the position of the customer, because again, if you're buying leads, you need to know, where did they come from? It's so important for you to know this. I can't emphasize it enough. All right. So first of all, I want to explain Facebook leads. Okay. Because if you go into Facebook leads with the wrong expectations, then you're going to be very disappointed. So the first thing is with Facebook leads is you got to realize, and I'm going to give you an analogy here. All right. So picture yourself watching Netflix with your family, you're hanging out, you're on the couch, just, being entertained by Netflix. You get a knock on the door. Okay. Dog starts barking, you get up and you answer the door, and it's me. I'm the painting contractor, and I knock on your door and I say, "Hey, Mr. Jones, just so you know, I noticed that there's some cracking on the side of your house. I'm wondering if you would like a free painting estimate. Okay. So a couple things about that. First, this is what's called a pattern interrupt, right? This gentleman was not thinking about painting, or else he would have got it done. He wasn't planning on painting in terms of a budget or timeline. And what I did is I made an attempt to enter him into the market. So pretty much if he wasn't in the market, I'm trying to convert him to get into the market. Okay. Well, this is the hardest possible individual to sell a job to, because he was not thinking about it. I had to convince him to do it, and he was inspired in some way by something I said or something I showed him. Now, I want you guys to think about Facebook for a second. Okay. So when you go to Facebook and you're scrolling, looking at pictures of your family, you're in that awesome painting contractors group, and you're just hanging out, laughing at all the pricing questions. And boom, out of nowhere, you see an ad for a restaurant that has a really cool theme, and you're like, oh, that would be cool. I want to go to that restaurant. It's the same thing, right? It's just now it's in a digital fashion. But how motivated are you to go to that restaurant? Well, it depends on how hungry you are. Maybe that wasn't the best example, but maybe it was like doing some pavers on the outside of your house, right? Well, you saw what it looked like, and you thought to yourself, remember that first question, those of you that were here early, hey, if you're not here early on these meetings, I'm not going back on slides. You're going to miss some important things. We asked that initial question, how much would that cost? That's the first thought, right? So you got to understand with Facebook leads is that you're triggering something emotionally, right? You're either hitting on a pain point, or you're offering value in some way, or you're giving them the emotional experience of what something would feel like at a small level. And then you're getting them to ask themselves the question, I wonder how much that would cost. So if somebody engages with that ad, you need to understand, and this is vital. I don't know how many of you guys are Dripjobs users in here. Okay, but let me explain something to you. One of the biggest reasons I built the software was for this, what I'm about to explain to you right here. Everything else just came naturally out of natural progression. But this, I mean, if honestly I built this and this was the only thing that Dripjobs did, eventually, I mean, I would have known myself, we would have always improved, but just saying, I would have been very happy. We have to capitalize on that moment. Okay. That is like so important for Facebook leads. That moment of time where that person clicks the message button or clicks the lead form and puts in their information. That is the crucial time period. Guys, lead generation and lead nurturing comes down to one thing, and that is speed. That is speed, because what we're doing is we're capitalizing on the emotion. So if it's 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, someone's sitting on their couch, drinking some wine, hanging out, and they see a beautiful, appealing ad that screams, I want to see what that would look like at my house. They get emotional and they say, oh my God, I would love to have pavers on the outside of my house. It's a dream of mine. And the quote, and it says, get a free quote. And they say, you know what? I might not see this ad again. I'm going to click it. And they click it, and they see a small little form that says, we have your first name. Just put in your phone number and put in your email. And then on the next page, it takes them to book an appointment, right? So you have to understand that there's thoughts that happen for a customer when they go through that process, because what they just did is they committed before making the logical assessments that people make when they buy something. How much is it going to cost me? Do I have to meet with someone now? I didn't even talk to my significant other about this. We don't really need that, right? So some of you guys are running ads and getting upset when people don't convert, because you don't really understand that if it was generated on Facebook or Instagram, there's a 90% chance, at least in my assessment, that it was an emotional decision. So if it's an emotional decision, we need to capitalize on the emotion and get an appointment booked as quickly as possible, because that's a second level of commitment. The first level of commitment was they gave up something, which is their phone number and their email. Okay. That's the first level of commitment that qualifies them to be into the game. Now, what we need to do is we need that second level of commitment. And that second level of commitment is an appointment. Okay. So for those of you that use Dripjobs, within seconds of that person on Facebook clicking the link or going through the lead form, they're getting a text message and an email with a button to book the appointment, right? because within that moment, we might still be capitalizing on that excitement. And I cannot tell you how much this affects our lead nurturing sequence. What I'm telling you right now is how fast it is from speed to lead within seconds, because you wait 5 minutes, they're going to continue scrolling, guys. They're closing out of your little lead form and they're going to go back to doing what they were doing. Okay. And then tomorrow comes, life hits them. And next thing you know, they really don't care about pavers anymore. I think we've been there as customers. So I think you guys understand. If you guys are getting something out of this, drop an emoji. We're wrapping up here. Thank you guys for joining these Tuesday sessions. I'm going to cover some of this and then we're going to get into some Q&A. So what's up, guys? Just want to say hi to everybody. Brian, what's up, brother? Yeah, don't become a dinosaur. What's up, guys? Just reading some of these comments. You guys are awesome. Yep. Cool. Awesome. Thank you guys for the comments. All right. So here's the deal, guys. Let's talk about some of these things that I'm writing here. The motivation is super low, right? So we talked about it. I told you the story behind that customer. The motivation is really low, right? We're getting them into the market. So the motivation is low. So it's a 1 out of 4. Did we identify with the customer that they have a want, right? So they want it, right? So that's the whole purpose of a Facebook ad, is to stir up a desire to want something. Did they identify a need? Maybe not quite. Sometimes, yes. Like if I put out, there's some companies that are need-based companies, right? Like mold removal, right? Or dryer vents, right? So they might have a cool ad that says, hey, you know, when was the last time you cleaned out your dryer ad or your dryer vents? And they show like all this gunk coming out of the dryer. So maybe they didn't identify a want, they identified a need on Facebook. Okay. A little bit better. Did they assign a budget for the customer? Absolutely not. Customer has no budget. We don't even know what their budget is. They don't even know how much it costs. Some of you guys run into this as cabinet refinishers where you're getting a lot of leads, but once they hear kind of what that range is, that knocks out 50% of those leads. So some of you guys have implemented, a lot of pre-qualifying if you're doing cabinets. Okay. The cost per lead is really low. The conversion rate is really low. Why? Because the motivation is low and there's no need. Okay. Or there's some need, but not a high need. The volume is high. The volume of the leads is high and the loyalty level is high. Why is the loyalty level high? Because they connected with you first. You got them into the market. I was the guy that knocked on the door. He's more loyal to me because I'm the one who introduced him to the market. So this can work in your favor. And the upside is high, right? So if you can do really well with these, you can have really high upside on Facebook. So let's talk about capitalizing on interest. So this is what I was telling you guys about, right? So here's an example of kind of just like a little lead form, lead flow. In this case, you're seeing we have a Facebook bot that actually would message our customer as soon as they click that button and take them through the flow. So it could be 12 o'clock at night, it could be 2 in the morning, and this Facebook bot is doing the work for us. So it's an automatic messenger bot with a text and email happening immediately. So those of you guys that use Dripjobs, you can see here, this is a drip that happens 2 months after. So this is a long-term follow-up sequence that all of these leads go through. So it's not just capitalizing now, but this is still someone that wanted the service. We've identified them as a potential customer. If we don't capture them, we should be nurturing this lead and really just keeping them within our network of individuals that we continue to market to, right? Whether that's individual drips or that's blast messaging, which is another Dripjobs feature, right? So we have a list of individuals that came in through Facebook that just never converted. Did they lose their house? Probably not. Did they get a paint job? Probably not, right? If they didn't give us an opportunity to bid it, we're the one who put them in the market. Do they have a need? Yes. Will they eventually get it done? Chances are yes, right? If there's low motivation and low trust, there's no deal. So it's important for you to have a robust social media profile if you plan to run these ads. So let's talk about these guys, right? These are our lead aggregators. We got Angie, Porch, Network, Craft Jack, Bark, some of these guys. So did these lead aggregators identify a want? Yes. Did they identify a need? Yes. Are the customers assigning a budget? Yes. They usually go in and tell the aggregator how much they're looking to spend. Are they prepared to interview a contractor? Yes. So that means that the motivation to get the job done is as high as it ever will be if you go through one of these. Okay. The cost per lead is very high. The conversion rate is very low. The volume is about medium, and the loyalty level is low, and the upside is low. Okay. So again, you have a really high cost per lead. There's no loyalty, and the conversion rate sucks. Why? Because again, we talked about this, more qualified competition, no loyalty. Are they loyal to Tanner, the guy who knocked on their door? Or are they loyal to Angie, Craft Jack, Bark, Porch, the same service that got them into the market? Okay. Capitalizing on interest. All right, so here's our game plan. And again, I talked about this with you guys a little bit earlier. I'm kind of paraphrasing because I want to save a little time for Q&A. But the game plan here is automatic texts and emails, okay? Dripping out communication, the phone call happening immediately. Dripjobs is cool. I love it, of course, but nothing will replace you calling a customer ever, you know? So important. Get them on the phone, okay? Dripjobs fills in the gaps and sometimes does the job, but there's some people that you need to call, leaving voicemails, putting personality behind the machine, right? So you have Facebook, where some people still aren't comfortable with meeting people from Facebook and coming and inviting them to their house. How many people do you invite to your house that you never met before? Long form text and email drips, and then of course multiple follow-up calls are going to help you convert these leads. You can see here we have a nice screenshot of our nurturing that's happening to leads, and we have a cold lead outreach sequence. Those of you that aren't using Dripjobs, it's already built for you if you sign up. Okay. Understanding the buyer's motivation when it comes to Google and Yelp. Okay. These are my favorite. Motivation is 4 out of 4, which means they've actively sought out for the service. They've identified their want or need. Chances are they have an idea of how much they're wanting to spend, and they're prepared to interview a contractor. Why do we know this? Because they called us. The cost per lead is about medium. The conversion rate, very high. The volume of these leads is high. The loyalty level is high, and the upside is high. So these are great leads. So this is kind of, you know, a little cartoon, but you guys got to understand what the heck is going on in Google right now. Okay. First of all, Google's behind the 8 ball when it comes to AI. Those of you that are following what's going on, Google probably doesn't like that people are asking Chat GPT questions. Okay. This is what Google's here for, is to ask questions. So what you're going to realize first is that you have the beautiful map pack, which is my favorite. Okay. It keeps going lower and lower. Okay. As much as I love the map pack, we can't survive on the map pack anymore. At the top, you have your Google guaranteed listings. Okay. I'm now on the Google guaranteed listings. This is an old screenshot. So here's your Google guaranteed. This is new. If you don't know what Google guaranteed is, this is Google's guarantee that you're going to get a good contractor. So if somebody goes through the Google guaranteed, why would they scroll any further? I wouldn't. Cool. Google guarantees it. Cool. They have a whole thing about what they're guaranteeing. They've checked insurance. They've done a background check. Then you have your Google ads. Google ads used to be cool, right? Well, Google guaranteed's here. So that's not as favorable. Now, on top of all this, probably underneath Google guaranteed is going to be the AI suggestions, right? Or the Chat GPT suggestions, which I'm sure they'll find a way to monetize. So again, if you don't have someone doing this for you, I mean, you're not in the game. You're going to be faded out of the game. I'm sorry. You know, you won't, I mean, it'll be very hard to thrive unless you have someone doing this for you. Okay. Because this is always changing. It's like if you try to do your own bookkeeping, it's always changing. The rules are always changing. You're not on top of them. Okay. Find specialists to do things that you're not good at. Capitalizing on interest. So how do we win these customers? First of all, we got to have a robust Google profile. Okay. We want presence on all 3 entities. We want a professional, mobile-friendly website. We want form automation. We want a fast follow-up, and we want appointment setting to be automated. So first thing is, some of you guys have a form on your website that drops into an email. So if someone goes online at 12 o'clock at night on a Saturday to get a quote from you, some of you guys have nothing going out to that guy until Monday at 11, maybe, because you're busy Monday morning. That is not capitalizing on a lead. You think just because they came to your website that they're your lead. No, not the way it works anymore. They're going to 3 others, and they're putting in their information, right? And who likes putting in information in a dead form? No one, right? So ultimately, when it goes to your email, nothing's happening. And then you have to call back. They don't answer. And then that person that was a high level of motivation, a high loyalty level, is now someone that forgot who they even entered in their information for. And you're not treating them like they're gold. Okay. With Dripjobs, we have a button, we have a form, we have an automation, we have 7 automations that happen when they fill out the form. First thing is a contact gets created in our system. It gets organized in the pipeline. A drip text goes out, a drip email goes out, a notification goes to the contractor. Okay. An appointment gets created and it gets organized in the right stage. Okay. All of those things are happening whenever someone fills out a Dripjobs form. When someone fills out a form that's dead on your website, the only thing that really happens is the customer's just still confused on what's going to happen next. Okay. And you can see here, we send out a message to the customer. Hey, Deborah, thank you for requesting an appointment. We received it. We'll get back to you with any follow-up questions shortly. You guys got to understand, people want speed. Okay. No one wants to wait. Some of your older people, those baby boomers, they're a little more patient, but don't wait for them to be out of the market to start maneuvering your business in a way that tailors this new wave of individuals who if they don't get speed, they mistrust. If your package doesn't show up from Amazon in 2 days, you're getting a little nervous. Okay. That's just the way it is now. So organization is key. Just kind of some things about Dripjobs: pipeline with stages, automated entry, automatic follow-ups. It's mobile friendly, automated movement of customers. And then again, being able to identify the lead source, being able to track which leads are converting. In other words, if you get leads, yeah, I do. I own Dripjobs. Is this kind of a sales pitch? A little bit, but really it's because I care about you and your business. And that's why this was built. And if you are getting leads and you aren't organized, you're wasting your money. So even if you don't use Dripjobs, find something with a pipeline and get your leads in there. Like, that's the key. That's good. Organization and automation. But if you don't want to spend 2 weeks setting it up, just use Dripjobs built in, everything I showed you. So break down the trust barrier, guys. Remember, low motivation and low trust is no deal. And remember, this was in my sales training, but getting the sale is at the tip of the iceberg. The foundation of trust and value is at the bottom. So getting the lead is at the tip of the iceberg. Nurturing that lead is everything else underneath it. All right. So that's my training today, guys. I hope you got something out of this. I hope this opened up your eyes to some things that you might not have been focusing on. Thank you guys for being part of this. I'm going to do a Q&A. You could hit the raise hand thing if you want to ask some questions. If you got a question, just ask it. Everyone's here to learn. There's so much here. How does Dripjobs compare to Jobber? Honestly, like, Jobber's great software. They have, some cool features, but they don't have pipeline automation, which to me is very important. And their lead nurturing is nowhere near as robust as Dripjobs, and they don't have change orders, actually. So you can't do a change order. So, if you guys have questions, just let me know. Jump in, just hit the raise hand button. I'll sit here and answer some questions for you guys. If you have a question, 9 times out of 10, someone else has the same question. So think of it as your way of contributing to the community here. If you have a question, you're like, well, I don't want Tanner to put me on the spot. Well, you probably haven't listened to any of my business breakthroughs. I'm not going to, blast you. I'm just going to try to give you some guidance. And if you don't, you guys can type the questions too. It's fine. Curious how many DJ users you have now, if you don't mind sharing. So we have about almost 1,000 companies using Dripjobs. So that's about 1,000. Would Dripjobs eliminate Jobber? Yes, it would. There's nothing in Jobber that we don't have besides crew dispatching, like crews to certain appointments, which in contracting, you don't really need as much. We have the work order function. It handles the same thing. But we're building a crew app that would have, clock in, clock out, customer, team information, all that stuff. I remember that, Rob. You were a hard sell, but I'm glad you're back and you're a raving fan now, which I appreciate. You always comment, and thank you, man. Yes, Kimberly, ACH. So good news within, man, it is like tomorrow-ish. We're waiting on the final button up on ACH. So you're going to be able to select if you want ACH payment or if you want credit card payment, shut those off, turn them on, adjust the fees for each. It's a whole new payment flow that we fixed. So solve that problem. Guys, I have some a couple things. Those of you that are still here. So first thing is, if your website sucks, message me. Okay. We build websites for $500. It's $75 a month for hosting, maintenance, weekly updates. You get a dedicated support rep. You get 1 hour of edits. You almost like, and this is something you want. Like you should have someone looking into your website every week, making sure it's not getting hacked or it's not buggy. You get a free domain, but we'll transfer your domain. So $500 for the website. If you need a marketing recommendation for Facebook, send me a message. I have someone that I've been working with closely. Actually, I have two people that I love dearly, great friends of mine. So I will equally disperse their information to you to make a decision. And if you want Google help, I have a guy that I trust. And the Facebook people that I recommend are trained to use Dripjobs. So they will send those leads directly to Dripjobs. Ben, the marketing team. So yeah, the website, Ben, just send me a message. Find me on Facebook, send me a message. I'll go through it with you. That's the easiest way to do it. So we'll talk back and forth. Again, anyone that needs any help, message me on Facebook. Is the mission more of a CRM with lead capture conversion or more of a, it started as a lead capture and conversion. It's actually not so much a CRM anymore. Brian, it started off as a customer relationship management system. Now it's just a business business management system. We want that 360 solution. That's what our customers want. I think that's what is going to become norm in software. And we just want to stay ahead of the curve on that. You know, nobody wants multiple softwares. We've learned that early on. So love Micah. I'm sure he's going to do a great job, Robert. But yeah, so we want everything. We want to do it all. You guys feel free to jump on audio if you have a question. And it doesn't have to be about leads. If you guys have a just general business question. What does a marketing do that an individual can't? That's a really good question, Lewis. Well, chances are you're doing more than just marketing. So you're probably estimating, probably hiring, probably scheduling your team. So it's not that you couldn't do it. It's just that you're not going to do it as effectively as a marketing company would. So if you think about it, the purpose, as I said in the training, was for a marketing company to maximize your dollar. And if that's their sole focus and it's not your sole focus, then they're just going to get a better cost per lead than you are. That's it. So if you have $100, they might get 5 leads and you might get 2. All right, guys, I got a couple more minutes.
Hey, Tanner.
Hey,
Tanner.
who's that?
Raul.
Raul, what's up, man? Good morning.
We GN Online Spain in Fort Worth, Texas.
How you doing, brother?
Doing good, doing good. Just fine, just fine. I have a quick question. Based on the example that you give about allocating some of the profit so we can market ourselves and diversifying into different channels, how would that work? Just to kind of have an idea of because if we're in your example, you say like $2,000 a month to marketing our company and diversifying those $2,000 in 3-4 channels. It wouldn't be easy to put it.
Where are you spending your marketing right now? How much are you spending on marketing?
I'm putting 3,000 with Pathfinder Marketing in Facebook, and I have all maxed up in Thumbtack, like 1,000 a month. Yeah.
So are you getting ROI from Pathfinder?
It's been kind of hard. Yeah, it's been kind of hard. I do have a better ROI in Thumbtack right now.
So, okay. So again, you're diversifying, but I don't think Thumbtack is the best option. I've used Thumbtack. There's only like a specific type of customer that actually goes to Thumbtack. they don't spend nearly as much on marketing as Angie does, right?
Okay.
So I think at the very least, you should have a passive marketing channel and an aggressive one. And I see Facebook more as passive because you kind of have to wait,
Okay.
for these ads to these ads to learn and generate business. But the Thumbtack and Angie's a bit more aggressive. So I would try Angie, and then I would take the money out of Thumbtack and put it in Angie leads. You're gonna get leads. It's just they're more expensive.
All right. All right. Cool.
Yeah. And do you have the Facebook leads integrated with Dripjobs?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I do.
So have you gotten Thumbtack integrated? It's kind of tricky.
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. Well,
But
Angie leads, we have a direct integration with Angie leads.
oh, that'd be cool. All right. I'll
So
look
that's
into
what
it.
I'm saying. Yeah, look into it, man. I would try that. And then, I'm sure if you get with Eric, try to meet with him, and see what your cost per lead is, and I'll tell you this, guys, and this is honest. I'm going to ask you a question real quick. I'm going to put you on the spot, but I love you.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many videos have you sent Eric?
Uh a couple. Yeah, I
A
have done that.
couple?
Yeah.
How many,
I
when
have
was
I
it?
have followed your advice. Yeah.
When was the last time you did it?
Yesterday I was sharing a couple with them. Yeah.
Okay. So you sent some videos, and what happened in the video? What did you do?
I was going to, well, we were kind of discussing of what was the goal of the video. If we were trying to, just branding stuff, of our company, or we
Good.
were trying to generate leads for us. And
Good.
so we were, getting into that videos for generating leads should be more like a 30-second, long
So
video.
you got to realize that you don't know what's going to work until it works.
Right.
So the focus should be, you should be sending 3 to 4 videos a week to them and just having
Cool.
them split test them and try which one works. Because if you guys, have you ever seen any of my Dripjobs ads?
Yes, a
Oh,
lot.
that's a bad thing, but because you're already a customer. But in any case, you see them, but I just put out random videos. And I'm
Right.
surprised usually which ones work, which ones appeal. You just keep trying and trying and trying. So I would make it a focus. And any of you guys listen to this, do not rely on your marketing company to make your ads. That they can only do so much. What's going to sell the customer is you. Because remember, with Facebook, the trust level's low, because people don't know who you are. But if you're on camera, you're going to win that opportunity a lot better than if it's like a picture. So put out the videos, because I would say, Raul, just try to send 3 or 4 videos to him for the next month and say, hey, I want you to test these out. And I'm sure you can just send the raw footage. You don't need to edit it. You don't need to do anything. Just get in front of the camera, walk your job, say, hi, this is Raul. Just wanted to say hello. We paint this, this, and this. Check this out. We did this. If you like a free estimate, let us know. Right? Or, hey, this is our project manager, Steve. Hey, this is this. We're going to come. We want to come to your house. We're offering a free this. We got Black Friday coming up, whatever.
All right.
So hopefully that helps, Raul. But I would try Angie.
Appreciate it, bro.
Got a question from someone about Angie. Yeah, I do have a lot of podcasts about it. Good luck finding it. There's so many episodes, but I'm sure it was called Home Advisor. So look that up. But negative about Angie, man, you got to use your own experience. I can't say anything other than you got to make your own assessment of that. There's so many variables as to why someone would say that their experience is negative. Listen to the person that's coaching you today. It's never been negative for me. And that's in terms of dollars. And that's what matters, right? So ultimately, on average, I get a 400 to 500% return on the investment. So in other words, if I spend $1,000, I'm probably going to get 5 or 6 grand back. Okay. Good budget. My question is, do you separate a fig? Okay, I'll read this one from Mateo. I know your company's established and have a good budget for lead generation. My question is, do you separate a fixed amount for each, or they're all open budget to send as much as you can? My company is small. I'm not sure how much would be the minimum for each lead source. Man, it's such a tough question, Mateo, because you need a lot of leads and you don't want too many. And if you don't spend enough on Facebook, you're going to get washed out because it requires a certain amount to get going. I think anyone starting out, the first thing you should do if you want leads is sign up with Angie Leads and set a budget. You got to understand that, like, you're going to pay a fee to a marketing company to manage your ads for you. And that usually takes time and there's setup time, but you can call Angie Leads today, set a budget of $1,000 and get 8 to 10 leads. I mean, that's just honest. Like, I mean, you can't get any better than that. It's easy. It's easy. So, I mean, and again, until someone outdoes Angie in terms of, winning customers over, sorry, that's just who it is. That's who won the race. They're not perfect. No one is, but they bring leads, they bring people. They want paint jobs. And then you use that as leverage to grow your business. And then you pivot to something more sustainable. I'm one of those ones that have terrible experience with Angie and HomeAdvisor. Mateo, my first question is, did you set up automations? And the chances are it's no, because not many people do this unless they have Dripjobs. So I would encourage you, or I don't know if you're a Dripjobs user, but if you are, connect it with Dripjobs. And then you'll notice that you're probably frustrated because people weren't answering the phone. Yeah, Robert's got a nice spread here. Crew of 3 plus him, 500, 900 for Facebook ads, 600 for Google ads. That's a really nice spread there. And I'm sure that keeps you pretty busy. And then I'm sure you'll just incrementally increase that as time goes on, Robert. All right, guys, got time for one more question. Anybody else? Still got 20 of you guys in here. So remember, if you want a website, if you want Dripjobs, anyone here, I'll give you a sweet deal. Just message me on getting maybe a little bit longer of a trial. If there's anyone, actually, I'll just drop this link here because it's most convenient. If anybody wants to see a demo of Dripjobs, I'll just send this here. So you watch a demo with our team. All right, guys, I think that's it. I got nobody else asking questions. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you, guys. Demo and job costing. Yeah, coming soon. Very close. Job costing, Kimberly. That's going to be a great feature. Excited for it. So thank you guys again. Good luck with everything, guys, this week. Go out and crush it. Think about this next time you get a lead. Think about their journey. Think about what their motivations are, and align your appointment setting process with what they got going on. All right. Thanks, guys. Catch you on the next one. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks so much for listening to the Contractor Secrets podcast. So I don't really advertise on this and I don't ask for much. You guys know that. But what I would ask of you is to give Dripjobs a try. So if you don't know what Dripjobs is, it'd be hard for that to be a thing. But if you don't know what Dripjobs is, it is the software that you need to power your business, to automate things that you're either wanting to do and not doing, or currently doing and just not doing to the standard of which you want to be doing it. And that's where software comes in. I have spent the last 3 years of my life with my team building out this software. And hopefully by now you've heard about it. And maybe you know of a friend that's using it, or maybe you are feeling confident just by hearing it on this podcast. So my big ask for you, if you're getting something out of what I put out, some of the value that you're getting from this podcast, is to just go to dripjobs.com and schedule a free demo with my team. That's it. That's all I want you to do. Just do a demo. I want you to be aware of what features we have and how it can help build your business. Now, some people that I've spoken to say they're not quite ready for Dripjobs. Maybe they feel as though they're too small or it's not in the budget. First of all, everyone's ready for Dripjobs. You need the features that are in this software to manage a business, whether that's creating proposals, invoices, change orders, work orders. It doesn't matter if you are a one-man operation or you run a crew of 25 people. Dripjobs is going to be the app for you. Second thing is it out of budget? Don't worry about that right now. We offer an extended trial if you sign up on the day of the demo that can give you a kickstart to get going. The goal of Dripjobs is to make you money within the first 30 days. This could be capitalizing on a lead that you got, or even helping you upsell work with the optional item feature. So many things here. Again, the big ask that I have as a listener of this podcast, if you have not done a demo with us, please do so, and check out what we're building. We continuously update this thing, and I'd love for you to be a part of that. I'd love to see if it can impact your business, and that is my goal. So thanks for listening to this podcast. Hope you take me up on that offer. Get to dripjobs.com, do a free demo with our team, and see what all the hype is about.